Let's start from the beginning.
Let's go.
Where were you born?
I was born in Queens, but the crazy part is, and I tell people this all the time, I never went to school in Queens. Like from pre-K to high school to never went to school in Queens. I always went to school in the city because my mother worked in the city.
Right.
So it just was more convenient. It was easier. And, me being, the son of somebody, like my mother ain't want me anything to happen, like anything. Females, they have crazy imagination. So my mom wanted just to protect her baby.
Right.
So I never was in school. I never was around Queens, never was hanging out, never was doing none of that till later.
Right. For any YNs that may be confused as to what we're talking about,
Yeah.
you are the son of Kenneth McGriff,
Yes.
the leader of the Supreme Team.
Yeah.
A notorious gang, clique, circle,
Yeah.
whatever, that pretty much dominated Queens
In the 80s.
in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your mother was very cautious.
Absolutely.
Oh, nah, we're not going to leave you out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was your mom's profession?
She works for, she's like the supervisor for Medicaid, for the Medicaid office. So she's been doing that since I was born.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you was getting a different kind of treatment than other kids?
I was in a barbershop a couple blocks from where I lived at in Queens. And, a lot of older guys, they would come in the barbershop and they would see me in the barbershop. Like, either I was getting a haircut or, whatever the case would be, it was something right around the corner. So I wanted to get out the house. I'm like, I'm going to just go chill in the barbershop. Right. And, it'll be times where people, it's crazy we're in the barbershop again right now, but It's crazy how, full circle moment. It's crazy how, people would just randomly come in there and they would just here, take this $500. Yo, here, take this $1,000. Yo, I know your uncles and yo, come with me. I'm gonna buy you some sneakers. And I'm like, shit, my mother ain't home yet. I'm out. Let's go. We out. I'm a kid. That's, why not?
Right.
And then one particular day, this guy had came in, and he was talking to one of the barbers. He was like, you know that's Preem. So I'm like, yo, what? So I went home. I'm like, yo, ma, who's Preem? And then she just gave me this look I finally got to tell him now. I was probably 12 years old.
12 years old?
Yeah, I was 12.
And you said, who's Preem?
Yeah.
So you grew all this whole time, you were seeing, did you go visit your father?
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
But you would just hear people, and people would just come up to you and give you money. And you never wondered why?
I just was.
Your friends was like, yo.
Nah, but I ain't really have no friends in Queens.
Okay.
I remember I didn't hang outside. I didn't go outside nowhere. I was strictly Manhattan, Harlem. I had the people that I would consider friends, they was all older than me. Right. So I never hung out with them.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, they giving me money. Shit, I'm gonna take this money. Why not? And
was you telling your moms about the bread?
Nah.
Oh, she gonna know now.
Yeah,
she know that.
I wasn't telling her about the bread, but that day I had asked her. I'm like, yo, ma, who's this Preem guy? Everybody keeps saying talking to me about, and so she called her sister, my aunt, and they both. I think my aunt had came over to the crib, and then that's when they both had to talk with me. And at this time, none of the men in my family was home. My uncles on my father and my mother's side both was in the Supreme Team, so they all was away. Wow. I never really had male role models, male figures, none of that, because they was all in jail. Right. So shortly after the conversation I had with my mother and my aunt, when they broke it down to me.
Hold on. How did that conversation go?
It was emotional for them.
And how was it for you? Because you're sitting there what are you hearing when they're talking to you? Are you?
I want to say they played me Crime Partners. It was a movie that my father had made. And it was a part in the movie where he was in the movie. And then my aunt was like, that's your dad. He's this person. And we didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to she was like, we didn't want to tell you because it wasn't the right time to tell you. But now that you're asking us, it's obviously the right time now. Right. So it was just a long conversation, and it didn't really affect me. It didn't hit me. Nothing happened.
So for 12 years, you didn't know who your father was?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Wow. What did that do to you? that time span of not knowing who your father is to one day just they're dropping the bombs.
Yeah.
Like
it didn't hit me yet. It didn't pause. It didn't affect me. It didn't register.
right.
Cause I'm just learning about it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I guess it's whatever.
How did you feel about your father at that point?
I had no feelings. You can't really have feelings for something you don't know, you never seen, you never touched, you never,
Right.
you can't really have no emotions or feelings towards that. So I just was like, okay, that's cool, that's what's up. These dudes still gonna keep giving me this money at the barbershop, right? That's pretty much what it was. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm reaping the benefits. Okay, cool. Let's do it. I'm glad this is my father. Good.
Okay, but knowing that, did you ever think that it was a danger to who you were or who your father was? Because your mother was already worried about it. She didn't want you to go to school in Queens.
Yeah.
She was keeping you close
Yeah.
to home. You're not going outside. Was there ever a situation where somebody walked up and they weren't that friendly?
Never.
Never.
I've never from young age, adolescence, teenage years. Nobody has ever. It's all love. It's all love. It's all respect. It's all admiration. I never experienced nothing like that. So sometimes they say the stuff that you most scared about, it never even happens.
Right.
So I mean, I'm glad that she was cautious because we didn't know at the time that nothing would happen. You never know. You never know with anything.
Right.
But nothing. I never experienced none of that. Even from people that I've seen stuff that they said bad things about them and trashed them and everything. And then I would meet them and it would be like, yo, I respect your pops. I love your pops. Later on in my teenagers, I would meet a lot of people like, but nah, it's never been nothing. I never encountered nothing. Knock on wood. Never.
Right. So you find out. You don't completely know.
Yeah.
They don't say, yo,
Yeah.
he was a drug dealer.
Yeah, they don't go into all
They
that.
don't go into
Yeah.
that. But they tell you that he's incarcerated.
Yeah.
All right. When do you first get to see him?
I speak to him maybe a couple months after that. Cause that was like around the time his trial was starting in 2007. And yeah, we spoke. My aunt was on the phone with him and I was at her house. And then she like, hey Kyle, come here. Your dad wants to talk to you. So now the feeling that you would think that I would have felt when they first told me, I'm feeling that now because now I'm about to talk to him on the phone.
Right.
So I get on the phone and it's kind of like my body just went somewhere else because now I'm actually, all the emotions is coming out. Like I'm talking to my pops now. Like he's like, yo, what's up, man? Like, yo, you good? Like, what's going on? Like, yo, you do push-ups? Like that I can remember like that's the first thing, like, yo, you work out, you do push-ups? And then the second thing was, how your grades? But I'm like, yo, he asked me, the first thing he asked me, never spoke to me, he asked me, do I do push-ups? So yeah, we had that conversation and now I'm like, okay, now I want to get into it more. I want to know more. I want to talk more. I want to then, the letters started coming, writing letters, and then us just bonding and just building a relationship. But this whole time was when his trial was going on. So
I want you to be honest with me.
Yeah.
That first phone call. Did you cry?
No.
No. How did it feel?
It's like 6, 7 different emotions. Overwhelming, happy, nervous, excited. And you know what's so crazy, bro? Still to this day, if I hear his voice or if I speak to him or whatever, those same emotions.
You feel the same?
Like, I never get starstruck around anybody or feel like that nervousness. Only with him. Only with him. And I don't know why it's like that.
It's your father.
Yeah, I know, but still, like,
all my kids tremble in fear before me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what it is.
Yeah, it's because I'm like, I think I have the gift of gab. I think I can talk with the best of them. But with him, I just be like stuck.
Right.
I don't know. But like you said, maybe it's just because of my pops. I don't know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, you're getting older. You're starting to learn what your father's identity entails. Drug dealing, people connecting him to murders. How is that making you feel? Do you still have the same? So if your mother don't got you in the streets, you're in the city, you live in a different lifestyle, and I imagine that
in private school,
from how you carry yourself,
that
you have a different outlook on what life is supposed to be. When you hear those parts, how do you feel about it?
Well, he had told Black Just's oldest son to come get me from the crib. Like, yo, bring that nigga outside, man. He be around too many women, man. Like, I want him to be around y'all. Like, I want him to know, like, teach him some shit. Like, bring him around. So then I started chilling in Basie Projects. And then, like, me hearing all the stories from the older guys to the people that have been around him to the people that used to work with him to, like, all that shit. And then, like you said, I'm hearing the stories about him being in the streets and what that entailed. And I'm like, damn, he was doing all that. He survived that. I'm hearing about drive-bys he was in where he got away and people telling me he was like a NASCAR driver when he jumping through windows and like he on some action figure shit.
Yeah, right.
So I'm hearing all the folk tales and all the stories and I'm like, yo, he ill.
Right.
And then I'm like, you know what? I wanna see if I could do that type of stuff. Like, it's a big shoe to fill.
Right.
But at that point in time, it being fresh to me,
Yeah.
I wanted to try to live up to that name because, like, I seen how the twinkle in people's eyes when they was talking about him.
When they tell the story.
Like, you know how you get the twinkle in your eye when people talk about Jordan or Jay? Like, that's the twinkle I seen in it.
It's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, when I used to walk around with my sons, and, you know, I'd run into somebody from the hood or somebody, and they'd be like, yo, you know who your pops is? Yo, your pop, me and your pops was da-da-da. And that. Matter of fact, Froze, you did that shit one time. I think, was it my oldest? Was it my oldest? I saw you at LES.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it's like, I'm raising them different though. I don't want them to be, you know what I mean? I want them to be able to handle themselves.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to think like, yo, it's cool to go outside and get in shit like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you, you're hearing that, and it's intoxicating because you're looking at people's reaction, and they're like, "Yo, it was incredible."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, how did that change you? You said you wanted to be like that.
I wanted people to talk about me like that when I got older. I wanted to just do whatever. Like, started getting into trouble, doing stupid shit. Like, I'm hanging out more in Harlem. I'm coming from Harlem, going to Baisley. I'm not like just and when you're a teenager, you already want to be rebellious.
Right.
So now I already want to be rebellious anyway because I've been like bottled up in the cage for so long.
Right.
So that mix that when now I'm hearing the stories about who my pops was, and that shit is like combining that, it was just like, damn, I was like spiraling out of control almost. My grades were still good because school was always easy, but I just started doing stupid high school shit, stupid teenager shit.
What was the wake-up call?
The wake-up call probably not till I got to like college. Like probably like 19, maybe 20, and then I caught a case.